Great good morning, everyone. It is a beautiful Monday, April 6th, year of our Lord 2026. My Picardo's Jewelers watch tells me it's 9:08 a.m. here in the great Northeast. This is the Bob Cordaro Show. I am he, broadcasting today from the United States of America. I can prove it. We are making things right in the world for our benefit for once. It's also the place for the brave, like the veterans we salute today, thanks to John Basiliga and his great Eastern roofing systems. Veterans we've lost, but celebrate today thanks to John, like Charles Castellino, Pittston, Robert Stucker, Sweet Valley, and Thomas Chesnick, Vandling. The United States of America, founded with a certain knowledge and understanding by our amazing, incredible, astonishing founding fathers who knew that government should not, could not, never shall be our parent, our guide, our direction, our salvation. Not any of these things. Because its power, government's power, always means less freedom, less liberty, and less choice for Americans. They knew government power because of human nature should only be a necessary evil designed to protect and organize society. The United States of America, the country where for the first time in human history, freedom was declared to be, by law, by constitution, an unalienable right granted to each individual by God. Freedom couldn't be parceled out to groups. It couldn't be controlled by government or government officials because our great American Constitution ensures and codifies freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of association, economic freedom, and freedom of the press, no matter how they use it. Now, because they were armed with these freedoms, and only because of that fact, a ragtag bunch of immigrants, many of them rejects from around the world, they and their progeny created the richest, most powerful, most culturally diverse and accepting nation ever to grace our planet Earth. America, the only place specifically invented and designed so that every American can live their life in the manner they choose, unlimited by their background, upbringing, race, color, or creed, unhindered by the government or those who would use government to control others for their own comfort, benefit, or power. This Bob Cordaro Show will always be convincingly conservative, lovingly logical, proudly and passionately patriotic, and reliably right. Yeah, the double entendre is intended. And so we gavel to order today's meeting of the Club for Common Sense, promising you that our total, immersive, immovable commitment to common sense will provide a sanctuary of sanity to all of you who hearken here for the balance of this singular, extraordinary morning. Now, a gentle warning, that's where that fits. This is not a safe harbor for stupidity. It will be roundly, and dare I say, harshly attacked throughout the program. We will not suffer fools gladly, and their foolishness and ignorance, willful or otherwise, will be called out with intent, purpose, and vigor. Because it's all designed and sadly necessary to save our great republic from evil, senselessness, weakness, which can bring this noble and successful experiment down if we do not honor our obligations and aggressively oppose all of that. So we're here, and we tell the Democrats, once again, listening, and so many of you are listening, and so many of you are great Americans, you can, but you don't have to change your party. You just have to change your party. They've gone insane. They've deserted you. It's just what is, sadly. So I rewrote over the weekend, and it'll take me a few minutes to get used to this. I've been using the intro script that I wrote for so many years that it faded down. I could barely see it. I could barely see it anymore, so I rewrote it over the weekend, and I added a couple of things. So we'll have some fun with it. But it's the essential preamble which defines the program for all of us. And says, okay, here's what we're here for. Here's what we're doing. Here's what is important. I got a text from Justin from South Jersey. He says, Bob, I'm on vacation in Panama getting my daily dose of Bob Cordaro. I'll try to see if I can get some of the locals to download the Odyssey app while here. Justin, do it, man. Do it, man, because Trump has kicked, along with the Panamanians, he's kicked the Chinese out of there. You got to remember what Biden let happen and his hideous foreign policy team. They let China take both ends. They had installations at both ends of the Panama Canal. Unbelievable. Like it's almost unfathomable. The Chinese had basic control of the Panama Canal. Exertable anytime they wish. Trump got them thrown out. And thank you to the Panamanians for getting that also. It was, hey, Bob, happy Easter. Praise be to Allah, somebody says. Tell me, if Christianity is supposed to be so good, why are you all such bad people? I'm guessing, are you a Muslim? I don't know. Oh, Lord. Somebody says, praise be to Allah, Bob. Are you ready for Trump to attack civilian and infrastructure tomorrow? War crimes are cool unless you have TDS. I don't even get what you're saying. Seriously, there's something wrong with you. I want you to know this, and we care for you. We really do. There's something wrong with you. You're among the clowns, the disgusting fools who don't want us to win. I don't understand it, but you hate this country. You want to lose everything. You want to lose the Panama Canal. You want to lose everything. You want Iran to have a stranglehold on world oil and world trade. Psychopathic, apocalyptic, insane mullahs to have control. You're just too stupid to talk to, so we won't talk to you or about you. Look, when you demonstrate true, deep mental illness, we don't have time for you. I'm sorry. We love you. We wish you the best. We do hope you climb out of whatever your problems are. But we don't have room. We don't have time for people who hate America. We just don't. It's not where we're going with our program. And you could do that. You can do it all you want, but do it on somebody else's time. Hey, this hour, and we're going to get to hear from her today, is brought to you by Tina Morocco. She is a global sales advisor. It's Premier Sotheby's International in Naples, Florida. She is your trusted guide for Florida real estate, specializing in Southwest Florida. And yes, indeed, she is. One of the trolls, Bob, working class can't afford all this winning, but you didn't give a spit when Biden, for no good reason, for pure idiocy, for pure sick, twisted ideology, jacked the gas prices up higher than they are now. This is for preservation of Western civilization. There's a little bit more at stake here, except a fake Green New Deal. So you're stupid. Sorry. You can't. These people are unbelievable. And they live this Hippocratic life. How do you exist that way? I don't understand. How do you exist that way? They didn't care one bit when everything went up. By the way, inflation other than gasoline at this point is normal. It's tame. Nothing like when Biden was in office. Nothing like it. No matter what I'm not happy about paying $4 for a gallon of gas, but I get why we're doing it. I understand why it's important. But your hypocrisy is disgusting, actually. It really is. should be ashamed of yourself. Seriously, I don't get it. Like, these people root for the United States to fail. They really do. It's sick. Absolutely crazy. All right, well, enough of them. Hey, we got to hear from our great sponsors. It's good to be back with you. I hope you all had a great Easter weekend. I did. It was Cutie's birthday yesterday. We got the blessed basket up at my mother's, and then we went to Cutie's sister's and had a delicious dinner. I couldn't eat again, though. I really couldn't. I just a little bit. But a beautiful time. My friend Mike Barrace had a little break the fast party at his cousin's house, which was a beautiful property up in the North Abington Township. It was just a great weekend. Absolutely great weekend. We went out Saturday night with the Palucci's and brother Ron and Joy and had a great time bopping around, walking around downtown, starting and finishing at Terra, which we love that place. We got to the Altar Bar, which is a cool new place. We got to 16th Ward, which is a cool place. Had a great time downtown. A real great time downtown Saturday night. All good stuff. All right, we'll take a break. Bob Cordaro, WILK. A little bit from our sponsors, a little history, a little music, and then you at 570-883-0098. Perry Como. This date, 1957, had his 9th number one hit. I did not know that. And his only number one hit in what they call the rock era, Murph lets us know, with Round and Round. He was swimming against the tide, wasn't he? I remember the old SCTV. We were talking about that yesterday at dinner. And that was the Canadian gang, you know, Candy and Levy and all those guys, Haggerty. And I remember they had a skit with Perry Como's back, and he's more relaxed than ever. And they had him laying on a bed singing. Yeah, but Perry Como. Hey, let's go right to the blower. We got Ray from Dixon City. Ray, how are you, man?
That's you.
Oh, hello. How are you?
Great, Ray. How you doing?
Pretty good. I got a phone call this morning over there in Green Ridge that somebody painted up Biden's face.
Well, that's unfortunate. I just want them to do the right thing, the Green Ridge Neighborhood Association. I don't know what the hell's the matter with them. I really don't know what's wrong with these people.
Somebody should burn it down, but that's beside the point. You know?
So your information is that someone defaced the banner.
Yes, sir.
All right. I can't be happy about that. I just, like, what does it take once they knew they were wrong, that they were actually stealing valor from actual veterans to put this banner up for Joe Biden, and that they won't take it down?
It takes somebody like me to go over there and put a foot up their ass.
Yeah. We're putting the rhetorical foot up their ass. And that doesn't seem to sway them, because these people are dumber than rocks, and they like being wrong. I don't know why. That's their mental illness. It really is.
That's what it is mental illness.
Has to be.
It is nothing else. It can't be nothing else.
These are the same people that want America to fail in our current war. If I had one of them texted in, he lied. He said, well, the reason that gas went up under Biden was because of post-COVID. Well, I mean, don't run that by me. I was doing the radio show every day, you dummy. Right. They just lie. Yeah. They're liars. And that's what, so all the people who voted, was 10-5 when they asked, once they found out they were wrong, this is my information, it was 10-5 that to keep the hometown hero banner up for Joe Biden. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. Thank God for the 5.
Really? Well, somebody's got to straighten up the other 10.
Well, I'm saying, and by the way, they all voted for Paige Cognetti for mayor. I was driving through Green Ridge. I thought the Hills section was bad. Green Ridge is just as bad. The roads are unbelievable. I'm like, you got to be kidding.
No, pothole Page has got the whole city tore up.
It's a disgrace. But see, she loves Joe Biden. She supported everything Joe Biden did, and unfortunately, she shared his incredible incompetence. And we've got to live with it. We got to live with it. Unbelievable, Ray. Well, Ray, did you have a good Easter, though, on a better subject?
Yeah, it was nice and quiet.
Good. I'm happy to hear that. It's a, everybody loses sight of what it's all about, but not here. We won't lose it here.
Really?
But that's good stuff, Ray. Thank you so much. I may even drive by just to see what happened. I didn't want anything. I actually wanted it to stay untouched until the idiots who put it up realize we're wrong. Let's stop being stubborn and mentally ill and take it down. That's all I wanted.
Well, I think somebody's trying to help them make that decision. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe so. Yeah, but you know what they'll do? They'll take it down. They'll pay for another one and put that up. This is who these people are. It's insane.
Right.
All right, man. Thank you, Ray. Appreciate it.
Thank you. All
right.
Bye-bye.
Let's go to Donald from Pittston on the banner. How are you, buddy?
Yeah, we don't do that. We don't want to do it that way. We had the money and everything to take that down. If they wanted the $250, we had no problem getting that.
Well, they're pretty high up, too. I don't want anybody getting hurt trying to deface the
we don't want to do that.
Just to have the group that put it up to take it down.
Even though he was a failed presidency, you don't do that. That's wrong. You don't know violence. Don't burn stuff down. You're against it. I'm against it. The show's not about this. The show's about honoring the veterans like you do every day, and we played it. We were doing our thing with the banner, and we're just pointing out to them that it was wrong. And every year had daily updates like
we'll
the house
do it again
situation.
today. Yep, we'll do it again today.
Right, nothing wrong with that. But I encourage people, please don't don't degrade our what we're doing here, or someone doing something stupid. I want to do. Maybe someone just did it on their own. Maybe you don't know if they're a listener or
what.
what.
Well, think about it. If they got caught doing it, then they get in trouble for these asses in the Greenridge Neighborhood Association.
Yeah.
Or you fall. God forbid you go up on a ladder and fall down. Like the negative possibilities are endless. Let's not give them the satisfaction. We'll just talk about it.
We're like rallying around. It was actually helping a lot of veterans. Like I said, it was like a shot. Not a veteran I told, it was like a shot of espresso. Even though it was up there, they felt that it was justified what the veteran himself you were doing for the veteran that served.
Yep.
They got the whole thing wrong in the Greenridge Neighborhood Association. This isn't a personal thing about you and them or me and you and everybody. It's just that the man was not a veteran. There was veterans that served our country, Carter and JFK. And there's so many presidents that were Bush, and there's others that didn't serve, like Clinton. And the other ones, and Obama. So
and so be it. They didn't serve.
Yeah, right.
The people elected them, and fine, we had to live with them one way or another. And but they're not deserving of, and Joe Biden's not deserving of a hometown hero banner. Hey, Donald.
We put rhetoric in there like Angela. I'll tear that down. We're just having some fun with it. We know that. It's good humor, but we don't really mean that. I mean, for someone to do that to the face, and please don't go to jail or over something like that.
Well, the other part is they show how dumb they are by keeping it up.
Someone says the question of money is not much money in the fund. Just find. You can find that online. We can find out what's in there, and if we have to get the money to take the $250 and take it down.
Well, it's not a negative reflection on us. It's a negative reflection on them. Donald, always a pleasure, my man. We've got to take a break. Bob Cordaro, WILK. We'll come back with an actual veteran tribute brought to you by our man John Basiliga and his great Eastern Roofing Systems. We'll be back. It's the Bob Cordaro Show. Our Veterans Tribute this hour, as with every hour, this day as with every day, brought to you by our man John Basiliga. Got to hang around with John a little bit this weekend at Sergei's, the nightclub. It was fabulous. Cutie wanted to dance, and we danced. But his first company, his largest company, the premier industrial, institutional, and commercial roofer in the eastern seaboard of the United States, Eastern Roofing Systems. They're headquartered in Jessup, so guess what? They bring all that expertise, all that buying power to your job, even if it's a house here in Northeast PA. Eastern Roofing Systems. Charles Castellino. We lost him at age 92, March 23rd. Born in Pittston, graduate of the University of Scranton, and a proud member of the U.S. Navy. He was known for his kind heart, unwavering dedication to family, and exemplary work ethic. Beloved husband, father, grandfather, and great-grandfather, he's survived by his loving spouse, Sarah, and his cherished children, 4 of them. Proud grandfather to 11, great-grandfather to 4, preceded in death by 3 brothers, survived by his wife and those 4 children, those 11 grandchildren, those 4 great-grandchildren, and other family members. Charles Castellino, our veteran, this hour brought to you by John Basiliga and Eastern Roofing Systems. AccuWeather forecast and all of this brought to you by our friends at Montage Mountain Resort, who are swinging into spring. There's always something happening at Montage, I promise you. Today, breezy with times of clouds and sun. A couple of brief showers late this afternoon. High 49 degrees. Tonight, a rain or snow shower down to 37. Tomorrow, windy and chilly. Cloudy in the morning, then a blend of sun and clouds in the afternoon. 43 on Tuesday. The low will be quite low, 23. Wednesday, plenty of sunshine, high 54, but it's going to get down to 32 at night. Thursday, intervals of cloud and sun, high 59, low 38. Friday, I will not be with you, but it looks like a decent day, mostly cloudy, high 68, low 47. And that's your weather. Brought to you by our friends at Montage Mountain Resorts, who tell you it is 42 degrees at Montage. This reminds me of my buddy Dave Zankner. He used to sing some version of this at football practice in high school. His own version. But this date, 1959, Murph tells us, Columbia Records released Johnny Horton's Battle of New Orleans. The song was written in 1936 by Jimmy Driftwood, a high school teacher who used to write songs for the students to learn in his history class. He wrote more than 6,000 songs, 300 of which were covered by artists, including the Battle of New Orleans. How great is that? Bob Cordaro back with you on WILK. I got sent a picture. It's a blurry picture, but apparently somebody might have hit the Biden, the unlawful, immoral, and decidedly incorrect and wrong Joe Biden hometown hero banner with some kind of pink paint. And we don't need that. Yeah. Somebody said they saw the banner. It said Commander-in-Chief of the U.S. Forces 2021 to 2024. I mean, try to put a banner up for Donald Trump and see what happens. Are you kidding me? Again, it is the hypocrisy that's insane. By the way, on a different subject, Bobby B., he said the skit about Perry Como was called Perry Como Still Alive. And you can find it on YouTube, he relates. Eugene Levy played the part of Perry Como, and it was a riot. I know it. We used to watch it the night before football games. It was on Friday nights, SCTV. Somebody else writes it about that. SCTV was great. Count Floyd, they remember. A lot of good stuff. Bob, the same people complaining about gas prices right now were silent when gas prices were this high or higher under Biden, and we're also silent again when Trump gets gas prices back down. Of course they are. Tom from Dallas. Yep. Clowns. That's what they are, clowns. Somebody says the disgraced Biden stolen banner should be taken down in a professional manner because Biden was not a veteran. No violence or property damage. All honorable veterans would agree. I'm with you. Yeah, we want to get this done right. I mean, the worst thing, look at now you've got an excuse though. Now that this has happened, and I wish they didn't do it. But now that this banner's been defaced, which is going to lead to more defacement, and if you want to honor Joe Biden, first of all, it shows that you're almost insane, and we can't let you cross the street by yourself. But that aside, take it down. Oh, we've got to clean it and never put it back up. If this is all about childish ego and pride, then there's your way. Quite amazing. Rich from the Villages tells us happy Dingus Day. LDS Rich. I didn't, and I'm Polish and Slovak. I never heard of Dingus Day till Nancy came and told me. I had never heard of that. But absolutely crazy, I'm telling you. That's good stuff, though. That it really is. Hey, let's go to the blower. We got Wayne from Einan. How are you, Wayne?
Very good, Rob. I hope the bunny was good to you and your sweetheart.
You
there,
know, I didn't.
Judy.
I was just thinking about this morning. I didn't get any candy. I didn't have any candy. I forgot to give Cutie a basket.
Oh, gee.
And I'm like, no, I didn't catch any hell for it though. But because I was just I was eating normal food all day,
Well, that was good. That was very good.
Yeah.
You're lucky you're still in the same place, though.
No, I got her a nice birthday gift from Bacardo's. So all is right
nice.
With the world. All is right with the world. Yes.
Yeah.
Believe me,
Yeah.
I'm not very bright, but I'm not completely dumb.
Yeah. Women will always take things from Bacardo's or Duffy's or whatever over candy any day.
Yeah. She's happy with it.
Good. Here's my comment about the veterans and Biden's sign. Are any of these people on the Greenridge Committee that put this sign up or whatever, veterans? I doubt it.
I doubt it. I really do. Are they even thinking clearly? No, they're not.
No, they're
because,
not. I mean,
you got to remember, they voted to keep it up after they knew they were wrong. for putting it
Yeah.
up. And I can
I
say, okay,
agree.
you made a mistake. All right, you got this phony. Well, he was the head of the armed forces. Okay, then you find out you're wrong, and you still keep it up. That's what bothers me.
Yep. Well, it takes a lot to be a veteran, Bobby. So, that's why I wondered if these people are actually veterans themselves that put this sign up.
I don't think so. I don't.
I
think
doubt
so.
it.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't see how a veteran could vote to put it up. I
Well,
really
5
don't.
people voted to take it down. 10 voted to keep it up, and apparently the woman who's the president of the organization said, "Well, he risked his life every time he left the White House." I'm like, you can't make up that kind of stupidity. You can't.
No, you can't. Yeah, no. Not with all the security he had, that's for sure.
Insane.
He didn't know where he was going anyway.
I know. It's true, Wayne. It's true. And by the way, I'm not president of the United States, so if I don't know where I'm going, it's okay.
Yeah, so that's okay. Yeah. I have that problem sometimes too. My wife has to grab it. My wife has to grab me by the ear and pull me in a different direction.
Yeah, how did I get here? Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Hey, Wayne, thank you, my man. A pleasure.
You have a good
as
day, my
always,
friend.
thank you for your
Okay, take
combat
care.
experience in Vietnam. We appreciate it.
You're welcome. But yeah,
All
we
right,
have
man.
to get together sometime, Bobby. I
We're going to
enjoy
do
that.
it. We are going
We're
to do
going
it.
to do it. Yeah,
All
we're
right,
going to
man.
do it. Okay, take care, buddy.
Thank you. We've got to take a break. Bob Cordaro, WILK. We'll be back. They've got a race for governor in California, which really neat guy by the name of Steve Hilton is in the lead. 2 Republicans in the lead. I think it's possible even Californians have had enough of Democrat insanity. Now, we're going to see what happens. Trump endorsed Steve Hilton, and that may hurt him. We'll find out. We'll find out all of that. But California, my God, what a disgrace. And I lived there, and I loved it. But they've ruined it. Unbelievable. This is what the left does. The left ruins everything they touch. Well, of course, Murph tells us that was the Kingsmen. They recorded their version of Louie Louie. This date, 1963. Now, the way California runs it, it was designed to have the Democrats always win. They rigged it. But you could end up having 2 Republicans. Now, remember, one of the top Democrats is Swalwell, one of the most disgusting people on the planet. It's just been disclosed. 2 things have been disclosed about him. Number 1, he's in the Epstein files. He's trying to keep his part of the Epstein files from being released. It shows you what a disgusting piece of spit he is. The second thing, his campaign was paying his wife to watch his own children. Maybe at the same time he was having an affair with the Spanish or the Chinese spy, Fang Fang. Unbelievable. Hey, somebody on the banner, Bob, now that the Biden banner is defaced, take it down in good faith and leave it down. And if the Green Ridge Neighborhood Association insists their general fund is short $250 for kids and other youth outings, the money will be refunded for your cooperation. No, I don't agree with that. First of all, the money's already spent. They were dumb enough to spend it on a Joe Biden banner. And if you give them $250, they'll probably put up another Joe Biden banner. So, no, they're not to be trusted. These are people who know they are wrong, but their little egos are getting in the way of doing what's right. Now they have an excuse. On top of all that, oh, well, it got defaced. We'll have to fix, we're going to get it down to get it cleaned and never bother us with it again. Fred Duckman. Now, this one I don't understand. He says, Homer and Jethro did a parody of the Battle of New Orleans called the Battle of Cucamonga many years ago. Homer? Now, Jethro would have been the Beverly Hillbillies, so I'm not understanding. You're going to have to clarify for me. But, yeah, I don't think they should be reimbursed at all. One of the trolls texting. Oh, nice Easter message from Trump, Bob. What a Christian-like thing to post. Oh, but see, here's why you're dumb. You didn't see the beautiful messages that he did post for Easter. Not about Iran, for Easter. And you supported the disgusting clown who's got his banner up in Green Ridge, who did Trans Visibility Day, celebrating that on Easter Sunday. And you didn't care, jackass. Jack from Florida says, time to take down the banner and highlight it in the Biden library, or it can fly from the back of the Biden bookmobile, which is about all he's going to get. Well, we got to have a broken down bookmobile somewhere, and that could be the Biden banner or the Biden library. Nobody's going to give him 10 cents. Why doesn't Green Ridge raise the money? Well, I don't get it. It's crazy stuff. But I don't know. Hey, Mother Teresa for today. Mary Regina sent it in a little early, so we'll take advantage of that fact. She said, on the cross, Jesus said, I thirst. He was not asking for something to drink. When they offered him vinegar, he didn't drink it. Very often we offer Jesus a bitter drink too. This bitterness comes from the depths of hearts and wells up in our words. When we give this bitterness to each other, we give it to Jesus. Mother Teresa for today. And by the way, I watched with son Bobby, and we were talking about it. My wife and I brought him to see The Passion of the Christ, not knowing how realistic it was going to be when he was 10 years old. And I just remember we're blocking his eyes on some of the stuff. He's blocking his eyes. And I mean, I cried during it. I get tears during it. It's so savage what Christ went through for us. And we watched it on Friday. And we were amazed. It was 2004 is when it came out. Isn't that something? Absolutely fascinating. Yep. Unbelievable. And once again, as with all trolls, they don't listen. They're incapable of listening. You missed, and so I'm going to repeat it. Trump had a beautiful Easter message for the country. On Easter Sunday, he gave a message to the Iranians, which included a cuss. Okay. That's not what I would say. That's not how I would say it, but so what? That's what I'll say to you. Quickly, let's get Fred from... Fred, we only got a couple seconds, but I wanted to get you in there, man. How are you?
Good, Bob. Bob, they were going to do this no matter who was president. Mike Pence, Mike Pompeo, anybody, they were going to do the exact same thing what they're doing to Trump, just so everybody knows that.
Yep. Well, they are by definition liars and hypocrites. That's who they are.
And this voting law, it should be put in place, citizenship, all that, Bob. Thanks for taking my call.
All right. Thank you, man. Fred, you nailed it. Fred from West Pittston. And my Cordaro Jewelers watch tells me it's 10 o'clock. That means it's time for the news with Brian Hughes. So we'll do that. We'll come back, and it's going to be Monday Musings with John Perillo. Great good morning, everyone. It is 10:07 a.m. on my beautiful Picardo Jewelers watch. This amazing Monday, April 6th, Easter Monday, year of our Lord 2026 here in the great Northeast. This is the Bob Cordaro Show. I am he, and it is a big day to fight for America, defend our values, and with the help of our man John Basiliga, to honor the brave who have made us and kept us free. People like veterans we lost this year but celebrate today thanks to John, like Robert Bob Stucker, Sweet Valley, Thomas Chesnick of Vandling, and Charles Castellino of Pittston. So, with history, our amazing founding fathers, and everything else that made America great, the incomparable Constitution of the United States of America as our guides, let us continue today's battle. A reminder, this Bob Cordaro Show, it'll always be convincingly conservative, lovingly logical, proudly and passionately patriotic, and reliably right. And we gavel back to order after that brief news adjournment. This meeting of the Club for Common Sense, promising that our deep and unalterable commitment to common sense will provide a sanctuary of sanity to all of you who hearken here. So Fred Duckman corrects me. He says, Homer and Jethro. I got to tell you, the only thing I think of Jethro is Jethro from the Beverly Hills, but he points out and corrects me. Homer and Jethro were a singing comedy team that made parodies of famous songs. They were popular back in the 50s and 60s. They often performed with Spike Jones and his City Slickers. They were no relation to the Beverly Hillbillies. Thank you, my friend. Somebody said, love the movie, talking about Passion of the Christ, but don't like the subtitles. Watch the 10 Commandments. That's a great, and usually it's The Robe, says Camden Guy. Another couple of great movies. Yeah, great stuff. So we're back. Bob, if Steve Hilton wins California, it could sweep the country. Hilton said he will shut down all the insane transgender sex change operations on innocent children. He will also prosecute the people who committed fraud with taxpayer dollars, that they're estimating California's Health and Human Services fraud at $146 billion. And you have to believe that's true. They commit fraud with tax dollars when they openly act on behalf of the people of California. It's fraud. The things they admit are fraud, never mind the things they're hiding. Amazing. Oh, let's just hope for Steve Hilton. That would be great. But it's Monday, and it's 10:10 on my Picardo Jewelers watch, which means it is past time for Monday Musings. And here he is, our friend, John Perillo. Happy Easter, my man.
Happy Easter to you, Bob. I hope you had a great one with your family.
Absolutely great. Absolutely great. Uncle Jim came over.
Polish food out your
We had the whole blessed basket thing. We had the horseradish, not the recipe that I was touting over the last couple of weeks, but store-bought horseradish. But it was blessed by the church up in Troop, and it was mild, so I was eating a ton of it. We actually ran out. But other than that,
that's great.
Other than that, it was fabulous.
That's fantastic. We, of course, had the big Polish thing out here, and as an Italian, and one of these days we're going to have the Italian version. But it was great, and I hope everybody out there listening, I hope you all had a wonderful Easter, and I also hope you'll indulge me with a little bit of an Easter musing, since I think the concepts of that event are important to our understanding of human nature, no matter what you think about the divinity of the story. And so, my prejudices up front, like I say in the past, I do believe this. And my belief goes back to our very first Monday musing, which, I don't know, Bob, was several years ago. And it started with an essay that I had done called The Cave Painting in the Grave. And as I said back then, humans are not like every other animal, no matter what you may hear from the college professors, right? And the proof of that is the cave painting, which shows that man is aware of himself as an individual
because he's telling a story on that cave wall about himself and the grave, also a uniquely human thing. And the grave points to the fact that the earliest of man wondered about what came after this life. And further, that if we are, as the Enlightenment philosophers thought, just an accidental occurrence of highly evolved meat, then it makes no more sense to honor the dead any more than it makes sense to honor a hamburger, right? So, and that's the beginning of belief. But the story of Good Friday and Easter is not an easy one. And I put those together because there's really no Easter without Good Friday. And we shouldn't rush past Good Friday because it's the details of that story that make it both difficult and completely believable. So please, let me know if this helps you at all. In the gospel story, Christ is an observant Jewish man celebrating the Feast of Passover with his close friends. And he does a lot of things that are remarkable, but one of the things he does that's absolutely remarkable is he washes his friends' feet. And at the time in that region, people wore sandals, roads were dirt, and when you got to a house, you didn't just go inside. You drag all that dust and dirt in with you. So you cleaned your feet first. And in a wealthy household, the lowest slave had that duty. I mean, let's face it, it's disgusting work. And why does that detail matter? Well, it matters for lots of reasons. First, it shows us that in today's world that celebrates power and might and brashness, that God himself does the job of the lowest slave. But that is what the Creator himself does for us. And so hold on to that story for a second. And then at the same dinner, the Lord is eating with his friends and his betrayer. Now, to be clear, when we say the betrayer, we generally think of the character of Judas, but every one of the disciples, with the exception of John, runs away during the passion that Bob referenced just before. All of them do. And Christ knows that's about to happen, right? He openly tells Peter that he's going to deny him 3 times. He tells the rest of them that they will all scatter. But even knowing all of that, at this dinner, he's not yelling at them. He's not telling them how weak they are. He's eating with them, and he's trying to build them up to prepare all of them for his suffering. So hold on to that thought for a second, too. And then there's this theme of mockery that runs through the entire Passion story, right? The Roman magistrate Pilate believes Christ to be innocent, but he doesn't have the courage of his belief, so he turns him over to the Roman soldiers who mock him as king of the Jews. As he's crucified, the chief priests mock him for saying that the temple will get torn down. Even one of the thieves who's condemned to die alongside of him mocks him, telling him to save himself and that thief as well. And the chief priest says that it's better for one man to die than for the entire people to die. Of course, the irony of all this is that he was the king of the Jews. The temple did get torn down. His agony did save them all. And of course, this one man's death is for the entire people, right? And the point of all that is that we're supposed to see ourselves in each of these characters, right? Do we sometimes know that somebody is wrongly accused like Pilate did, but not have the courage to say it out loud? Of course we do, right? Do we think that of ourselves like the Roman soldiers did, being invincible and powerful and able to change, whatever it is we want by what we say, what we believe politically, what we post, what the latest gadget is we have, and by doing that to mock God and the human condition? Of course we do, right? Do we ever profess to believe, but not quite so much that it causes us pain or embarrassment or to say the difficult things that the Gospels say? Peter, the rock of the entire church, will be built upon. He denies 3 times, even knowing who the Lord is, to the servants who are gathered outside. Yeah, of course we do, right? Are we ever in trouble for something that we did, like the thief, right, and then complain to God to save us from the disaster that we brought upon ourselves? And of course we do, right? There was an article on the Good Friday story by a guy named Peter Leithart, and he said, quote, "The modern world assures us that we're okay, and that when we quite understandably fail, we have the resources within ourselves to put things right. Whether it's war or poverty or racial hatred or disease or disfigurement, we can fix it with a few quick twists of the dial. Scripture has no patience for such mild optimism. The cross of Jesus is the crux of human history, the deep revelation of the human condition. At this crossroad, the Bible forces us to look evil in the face. The cross is a mirror that exposes us as specialists in destruction," end quote. And you probably heard somebody say that, if we had been alive back then, we wouldn't have let that happen. Well, I'm sorry to tell you this, folks, but that's not true. It's not true because it's our nature to be sinful and scared and to act like the other characters in that story. And to be, as Mr. Leithart says, specialists in our own destruction. It takes God, and not some spiritual guru just spouting some nice words and stories, but the creator of the universe himself bodily getting in our way and getting bloody in the process, by the way, to make it stop. So why do I believe it? Right? Well, what benefit is there to the person about whom the story is told to tell us that the way we are to act is to be like a slave and to wash one another's feet? What benefit is to us, our livelihoods, our political standing in this world do we get from that story? And I'll save you some analysis. There's none. Right? What benefit is there to the tellers of this story in admitting to you that they were so scared that they abandoned the person that they believed to be God on earth? And I'll save you there some analysis as well. There is no benefit. There is no earthly benefit to anything that this story tells us. Then why believe it? Well, you believe it precisely because there is no earthly benefit. If there were, you could dismiss the entire story as just another guru telling you a self-help story. If we followed what he tells us to do, we don't wind up richer or with more friends or revered in society. In fact, the opposite of all that happens. And that's why it's true. Right? And just as there is no Easter without Good Friday, neither is there any sense to the Good Friday story without Easter. And we're told that there was this great earthquake in the biblical telling of the story. Well, what's an earthquake? Bishop Robert Barron actually had a piece on this. And he said, an earthquake is the moving and shaking of our very foundation. It's the unsettling of the very thing that we know to be true, that the earth is solid. And if the very earth beneath our feet can move, then what else do we believe that is in need of rethinking? And let's please go back to our caveman, right? The first beginning story years and years ago, because we are that caveman. He doesn't know a lot, but he knows that the earth beneath his feet is solid. And even as he wonders what happens beyond death, he knows that death is real. He knows with absolute certainty that death is the end. That's what he can see. That's what all his senses tell him. He can poke the dead with a stick, or we can hit the dead person with a defibrillation paddle. But if you're dead, you're dead. Unless death, which is as real as the earth that we know to be solid underneath our feet, isn't what we think it is. Then what's happening to us here takes on an entirely different meaning. All of our observable truths are no longer true. And what we are experiencing is just one more chapter in a larger story. And, I really appreciate that you guys let me talk on the show and just some things to chew on this Easter Easter week. It's so important
stuff, John. Thank you for that. And Easter Sunday's over, but Easter is the holiday we celebrate year round and are blessed by. It's quite amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is amazing. Please spend some time to think about that. And Bob, again, thank you for loaning me your audience. You know how much I appreciate that.
All right, my man. Well, again, happy Easter, John Perillo. We look forward to next week's Monday Musings. Have a great one, my friend.
You all do as well. Take care.
All right. We'll take a break. Bob Cordaro, WILK, the eponymous program rolls on. The Beach Boys. Murph tells us this date, 1965. They started recording their hit California Girls at United Recording Studios, Hollywood, California. It took 44 takes before Brian Wilson was satisfied with the song. Okay, fair enough. Well, they nailed it, didn't they? Bob Cordaro back with you. Somebody said the President Trump endorsement of Steve Hilton won't hurt him long term because in the end it will flush millions of dollars of campaign money from MAGA supporters all across the country, which will give Steve Hilton a huge advantage in fundraising. Well, we'll see. We'll see. They have the benefit of running while Gavin Newsom, the disgrace, is in office. And that's got to be a benefit. We'll see. I don't trust the left has a way of generating votes. Part of it cheating, part of it just things that they do really well. Because you've got to remember, for the left, for the Democrat Party, government is everything. It's their very essence of their existence. And they will do virtually everything to retain power. That's what it's about for them. They want power over others. And they want to insert their insane policies, which give them even more power on everybody else. So I don't know. I think, but I'm getting hopeful because when Swalwell, again, one of the most disgusting people on the planet, is third or fourth in the polling? It shows you a lot. It shows you that it is actually winnable for someone who talks straight. And again, California's system, the top two vote getters will face off. And if both of them are Republicans, which is what the polls show now, by slender leads, then they've got to vote for one or the other Republican. I don't know the other guy, but he's guaranteed more normal than any of the Democrats on the ballot. Fascinating stuff. We'll see. We will see. You can only hope, right? Cabinet guy says, sure don't want California girls now. Blue hair and nose rings, no thank you. No, that's just the ones protesting. There's still great California girls. No, that's not what they do. All right, well, reminder, this hour brought to you by our friend Tina Morocco. She's Global Sales Advisor of Premier Sotheby's International. We're going to hear from her in a little bit. And you could reach her at Sotheby's International in Naples, Florida, or go right to the source, Tina Morocco, MURACCO.com. She's your trusted guide, and you need that. Your trusted guide to Florida real estate, specializing in Southwest Florida. Isn't that special? My Bacardo Jewelers watch tells me we're approaching on 10:30, so let us take our break. We'll come back, hear from our great sponsors first, and then do a Veterans Tribute. We'll be back. It's the Bob Cordaro Show. Our Veterans Tribute at 10:30, brought to you by our man, John Basiliga. And on Mondays, as we always try to do, we feature his first company and his biggest company, Eastern Roofing Systems. They are the premier roofing contractor for institutional, commercial, and industrial purposes in the entire eastern United States. Headquartered in Jessup, they then bring all that expertise, all that buying power to bear on your building, your home even, here in Northeast PA. Eastern Roofing Systems. Robert Stucker. Bob passed away at age 89 on March 23rd. Born in the Parsons section of Wilkes-Barre City, he proudly served in the U.S. Army from 1960 to 1962, stationed at Fort Hood, Texas, and Germany. He later spent 38 years as a proud member of the Laborers Local 158, working in heavy highway construction before retiring and making his home in Sweet Valley. Tragically, he was preceded in death by his son Brian back in 2022, and his longtime companion, Marianne Patla Kukowski, back in 2017. Bob is survived by his 3 children and his adopted family, the Kukowskis, who he loved as his own. 5 of his siblings survive him, although he lost 3 prior to his passing. Even when asked how he was doing, his familiar answer of terrible was always delivered with a hint of humor and a warmth that reassured everyone he loved that, in truth, his spirit was anything but. Bob will be remembered for his military service, his 38 years with Laborers Local 158 Heavy Highway, and the way he helped create a large blended family with love and adopted children. He shared 35 meaningful years with Mary, and together they cherished their grandchildren and the lively household they built. Veteran Robert Stucker, our great tribute this hour to a good man by John Basiliga and Eastern Roofing Systems. Well, when I think weather, I think Montage Mountain Resort. And they're in the middle of swinging into spring. They've still got that incredible Wagyu burger up at the Slocum Hollow. I think about it every day. I really do. Well, they bring you the AccuWeather forecast. Today, breezy with times of clouds and sun. A couple of brief showers late in the afternoon. It's only going to get up to 49. Tonight, a rain or snow shower down to 37. Tomorrow, windy and chilly. Cloudy in the morning, then a blend of sun, clouds in the afternoon. 43, but it's going to get down to 23 tomorrow. Wednesday, plenty of sunshine, high 54, low 32. Thursday, intervals of cloud and sun, up to 59, low 38. I won't be here, but Friday, mostly cloudy, high 68, low 47 degrees. Maybe spring will start coming here, and we'll see. But right now, it is 44 degrees up at Montage Mountain. That's who brings you the weather. Well, what does that mean? That song means only one thing. Sunshine, of course, in Southwest Florida. But it means Tina Morocco's here. She is one of the leading global sales advisors at Premier Sotheby's International in Naples, Florida. You could reach her through Sotheby's in Naples or check her out directly at TinaMorocco.com. Your trusted guide to Florida real estate, specializing in Southwest Florida. Here she is, our gal, Tina Morocco. Tina, how are you, dear?
I'm fabulous, Bob. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm telling you, that song picks up my spirit, and so do you. So, by the way, and I hear that from a lot of people. Oh, geez, I'm looking forward to hearing what's happening in Southwest Florida, and just maybe getting a little bit vicariously warmer.
Well, I'm sending everyone sunshine.
Good,
That's
good.
for sure.
Yes, you are. Well, what do you got? What's on your mind today? What are you thinking about?
Yeah, so yesterday I wanted to tell you we spent Easter. We met my parents up in Boca Grande, and so I don't know if you know about Boca Grande, but it's a little island.
I thought that was just the only. I thought that was on Seinfeld. I didn't know. I didn't even know it actually existed. Yeah.
It is. So it's a little island that's just northwest of Fort Myers. If you're looking at a map, but you have to go through Charlotte County to get there by road. You go through like Placida and Rotunda to get over there. But it's just a 7-mile island. All streets are golf cart paths except for 2. There's no gas stations on the island. So everybody's tooling around in their golf carts. But it's really been kind of a celebrity and like wealthy haven. It's just a cool place to visit because it's such a, like, the Gasparilla Inn there was built in I think it was 1913, and it's still very much the same, very historic. But so people like the DuPonts, the Astors, the Bushes, they're like, everybody vacations there. So it's kind of like this celebrity, wealthy little enclave. It's very private. Tucker Carlson lives there full time. So it's
How expensive? Is it really expensive?
It's expensive.
It is?
So I would say, yeah, it's real estate there is pretty pricey. It's more like a place to visit. Most of the properties there, since it is just a 7-mile island, and the width of the island, I don't even think it's a mile wide. So it's like beachfront. Everything's beachfront. So it's just, yeah, we were looking at some real estate there yesterday, just kind of in our golf cart roaming around, and there were, $18 million properties, $8 million properties. There were some condos that were, under $1 million, but for the most part, it's beachfront, and it's like lifestyles of the rich and famous.
Boca Grande. So it actually exists. It actually exists, and Morty Seinfeld is not there.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen Morty Seinfeld there, but I did see, not this time around, but when we first went to visit Boca Grande years ago, we were looking out at the beach, and there was this pier, and there's this little fishing boat out there, and these guys were struggling, trying to pull in this fish, and I was like, what in the world? All of a sudden, they pulled up this fish, and I'm telling you, it looked like a dinosaur. It was a Goliath grouper. I don't know if you've seen or heard of one of these things.
How about that?
They get 8 feet long and up to 800 pounds. They just look like dinosaurs. Oh, they're so ugly. But it's a cool thing. Usually they don't keep them here anymore because they are a little bit endangered. But we eat the black groupers typically. But the
Tina
Goliath
Morocco,
groupers are
we always learn something different from you every time you're on. Well, but tell us, how is inventory? Is inventory substantial down there? Is it not?
So,
Are prices rising, falling? What's your perception on all
Sure.
that?
Yeah. So, good question. Depends on where you are. And especially this time of year. So what happens this time of year, I would say we're still in a buyer's market in Southwest Florida. That being said, things have definitely picked up in the past month. And I would say going into the summer, a lot of the properties come off the market. So, and that's because, a lot of sellers want to sell their properties in season. Most eyes on the property, so I would say the serious sellers will keep the properties on through the summer, but a lot of times we have inventory decrease in the summer only because, people, if they don't need to sell the property this time around, then they'll relist it next season. So we have that going on. But I would say overall, we're still in a little bit of a buyer's market.
Okay. So get with Tina Morocco, MURACCO.com, TinaMorocco.com. Tina, always a pleasure. Love it. And we learned about what is it called? What kind of grouper?
It's the Goliath grouper.
Goliath grouper. We got to look that up. All right. Well, thank you, my dear. We'll talk to you very soon. All right.
Take care. All right.
Tina Morocco, your trusted advisor for Florida real estate, specializing in Southwest Florida. Reach her through Sotheby's International in Naples or Tina Morocco, MURACCO.com. Simon and Garfunkel. Murph lets us know they had the #1 album with the soundtrack of The Graduate, a great movie. Mrs. Robinson is the song he picked, the most famous of them all. And that was this date, April 6, 1968. Yeah, it was that sort of ennui of the wealthy kid graduates college, doesn't know what to do with life, doesn't and it exists. But I've got to tell you, if you believe in God, you believe in heaven, doesn't it solve a lot of problems for you? I mean, it really does. Well, okay, my job is to be a good person, and then I get to heaven. But I mean, if it's just sort of mindless human ambition, well, then there isn't much to look forward to, is there? And I thought that movie captured all of that, because it was like, well, okay, well, what do we do now? Well, if all you're worried about is this life and either becoming successful or whatever it is, well, my gosh, there is no point, is there? That's why we should celebrate Easter year-round, understanding that it gave us purpose to life. It gave us heaven. It gave us a future. It gave us an eternity. Amazing stuff, but overlooked and oft ignored, I guess. But, yeah, The Graduate, a good movie. Good movie. And again, it points out a lot about today's society. And it's as relevant as today as it was back then, 1968. And Mrs. Robinson herself, Lauren Bacall, I believe, right? I mean, she's this hot older woman, married woman. And she's got nothing to live for. She doesn't get, nothing. These people with everything materially, but nothing to live for. Fascinating. All right, let's do something here. We're going to go. Well, no, we're going to wait. We're going to wait. Lorraine is coming up. She's got an Easter poem that we asked her to do today. So we'll do that when we come back. But for the moment, we're because I got to look at my Cordaro Jewelers watch. It's telling me it's 10:50. We'll do Bloomberg Money Minute and be back. You don't have many songs where somebody's admitting to a felony, but there we go. Gary Puckett and the Union Gap, they moved from number 7 to number 2 with their hit, Young Girl. This date, 1968. Donald Trump, he's on the, the portico of the White House. It is funny. My friend T. Bell pointed out, Trump's talking about the Iran and the incredible rescue of our pilots with a Easter bunny next to him. Absolutely hilarious. He is one of my favorite comedians. He is. But one of my favorite poets is our girl Lorraine. She's from Hazleton. She's got a poem, and here she is. Hi, Lorraine.
Hi, Bob.
How are you?
Hanging in. How are you?
Good. Great. Everything's great. I got my. By the way, our live stream sponsored by our friends at Roach Plumbing Supply. 75 years in business, veteran owned, and you could tell when somebody's in business for 75 years, they're good at what they do and they're honest. And I'm wearing my Camp Freedom T-shirt today. So I'm ready for anything you have, Lorraine.
That's a loaded statement.
I'm ready. I'm ready for your poem.
Okay. Well, naturally, it's called Easter Sunday, which Easter lasts until Pentecost, which is 50 days after Easter, and
that's right.
The birthday of the church.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, that lesson. Easter is the glorious day on which we celebrate our Lord's resurrection. He suffered, died, and rose from the dead. This selfless deed was accomplished for each and every one. Remember that people of faith come to life this day because during Lent we sacrificed and prayed. All of us wanted to be ready and worthy to thank Jesus for the price he had paid. For some, it is just another holiday. Many buy candy, flowers, or a special outfit. People forget the real reason we celebrate Easter. They simply don't want to believe the true meaning one bit. Some families and friends do celebrate with a special meal. It is nice to be with loved ones this day because Easter is the time that love and forgiveness prevailed. Therefore, we must always thank Jesus when we kneel and pray.
Very nice, Lorraine.
Thank you. Thank you.
And so I ran out of. I actually didn't even ask if we had more horseradish yesterday, but we ran out, and I was loving every moment of it. I know my mother's listening, and I'm trying to remember what the heck. We have the egg yolk, and is it called osetic?
That's horseradish. Well, what about they call Easter cheese baharutka.
No, I don't think we have that.
We
have kielbasi and ham, and the horseradish, and then the pascha, which is the Easter bread, which was fabulous.
Well, that's what I'm hungry for.
My buddy Fitzy and my brother Ronnie are watching me. Now, I use about an inch of butter on my bread. And they're watching me and laughing at me I'm like, well, I don't care if they're laughing. I'm not going to enjoy my bread any less. So I kept slathering on the butter.
Yeah.
And they said, what are you doing putting that much butter on? I said, well, because I can't eat the whole stick. Cidic. My brother pointing out it's called Cidic, the egg yolk.
Well,
we have boiled, hard-boiled eggs with everybody's name on them, but we also have the Cidic. Thank you, Mike.
Oh, did they have your name on Fuzzy Wuzzy?
I didn't even check. Because I was eating so much so quickly, I knew I couldn't fit more. So I didn't even look at the eggs.
Yeah, you ate it too quickly. Yeah.
But it was fabulous. us. It was
Well-
great. And we had the whole gang. I had 3 of my grandchildren were at church sitting with us. And all kinds of it was all kinds of people there. I ran into my old friend, former Senator Casey, gracious as always. He's just a good guy. But so many other people. It was just a great. The whole day was great from mass right on through.
Yeah, I hear you. That's nice.
And now, since I'm so happy you pointed out that Easter continues.
That's right.
That we have, so it continues, and it is your Easter poem being delivered today is as appropriate as if it was delivered yesterday. So we thank you for that.
That's right.
Yeah. Nice.
You're welcome. That's all I have to give, except all my loving.
Well, that's a lot. Well, you're trying to be funny, so
I'm not.
We'll just pretend not.
No, I'm not.
Okay, all you're loving. Okay. That's good.
Right.
All right, my darling. Thank you, Lorraine. I appreciate it.
Fuzzy Wuzzy.
All right, my dear. It's 11 o'clock on my Picardo Jewelers watch. They've got Breitling, Raymond Weil, Oris, Longines, Michelle, Shinola, Luminox, Swiss Army, Seiko, Tory Burch, Victorinox, Bulova, G-Shock. Any kind of watch you would conceivably want, from modest, like my Picardo Jewelers watch in price, to ultra expensive. It is the watch store, but I bought some jewelry for Cutie, and I'm in good standing. We'll take a break for the news with Brian Hughes, and then we'll be back. It's the Bob Cordaro Show. great good morning, everyone. It is 11:09 a.m. and change on my beautiful Cordaro Jewelers watch. This beautiful Monday, April 6, 2026. This is the Bob Cordaro Show. I am he, and it's a big day to fight for America, defend our values, and with the help of our man John Basiliga and his Great Eastern Roofing Systems, to honor the brave who have made us and kept us free. People like veterans we've lost this year, but salute today, thanks to John, like Robert Stucker, Sweet Valley, Charles Castellino, Pittston, and Thomas Chesnick, Vandling. So with history, our amazing founding fathers, who we will not allow to be canceled, and the incomparable Constitution of the United States of America as our guides, let us continue today's battle. Gaveling back to order this meeting of the Club for Common Sense, promising you, after this brief news adjournment, that our deep and unalterable commitment to common sense will provide a sanctuary of sanity to all of you who listen and hearken to this program. Bunch of texts I just want to touch on. Good stuff. Bob, we don't get to heaven by good works. Our good works are like dirty rags. We only get to heaven because of Jesus. Faith. Andy from Daleville. Thank you, Andy. Bob, ALTS, I believe it was Anne Bancroft, not Lauren Bacall. You're right. You are 100% right. Another, Anne Bancroft played Mrs. Robinson. She also played Mary Magdalene. I remember that in Jesus of Nazareth. Cabinet guy said it's Siddits cheese. We did not have Siddits. We had, my brother Mike told me this. What the heck is it? Let me look again. Siddick. We had Siddick yesterday. Good morning, Bob. Charles from Scott Township. When I first met my wife, her grandmother was a Russian immigrant from Austria, and she made her own horseradish. I cannot find that kind anymore. When I ate that, my eyes would water and my nose would run. I loved it. I'm a baby with hot stuff. I really am. But I loved reading that, and a lot of you loved it too, me reading that horseradish recipe that our friend sent in last week, and does it dutifully every Easter. My uncle Jim Savico was telling me that my grandfather, Julius Savico, used to make, and he did it in the house. And if you grate that horseradish root, like it blows everybody's nose out. And Julius wouldn't care. He wouldn't even be affected. So, anyway, I had my mild store-bought horseradish, but it was blessed. It was blessed, so that was important. But thank you on the save on Anne Bancroft from The Graduate. Very important to know. Very important to relate to you. Hey, part of this hour brought to you by our friend Tina Morocco, Global Sales Advisor at Sotheby's International, Naples, Florida. You could find her through Sotheby's International in Naples, or you go direct to the source, Tina Morocco, MURACCO.com, your trusted guide to Florida real estate, specializing in Southwest Florida. We heard about Boca Grande today. Again, I thought it was, I didn't know it was some exclusive enclave. It's a fascinating little island. I thought it was just on the Seinfeld show. I really did. So let's talk about where we are at. The Iranians are probably, by the way, I don't even know if there's anybody in charge to open the Strait of Hormuz as they're saying it. And I'm sure that's a mislabeling. I don't understand it, though, to be honest with you. As advanced as our technical means of intelligence gathering are, as long as we've been there, I don't know why we can't figure out where are their emplacements. where are the danger points? Let's wipe them out for the Strait of Hormuz and for free travel through the Strait of Hormuz. I'm not understanding what's going on there and what the delay is. I know Trump wants a negotiated end to all of this. I know that he wants Europe and maybe even the Arab countries to pay for part of this and to assume some of the burden. But I'm like, I don't know. It's one of the parts of this war that I'm questioning. We really have to know, well, okay, where would they attack our any shipping going through the Strait of Hormuz? We've got to know that by now. And let's wipe them out. Why ask? Just do it. But as is, Trump is threatening, he's threatening to go after their power plants. And, you know, this is a two-edged sword. First of all, you got to remember, President Trump, the Iranian leadership, as fractured as it is, they don't care about Iranians. Like, you're trying to deal with them as though they're rational. They're not. They're sick. They're demented. How do you can't have a discussion and a logical conclusion to that discussion with someone who's mentally ill or some group of people who are mentally ill. You can't do it. So I'm not understanding the current status of tactics. We'll see. I mean, he would know better than I whether there is a rational leadership, but that rational leadership has to be in control of all of Iran's array of weaponry. Because if some rogue group starts hitting ships going through the Strait of Hormuz, well, what good is the word of some fractured group of leaders going to do from Iran? So I think we've got to look and say, all right, whatever it is, we've got to go after whatever places and whatever weaponry and whatever hardware could harm shipping through the Strait of Hormuz. Take it out fully. That's where I'd be attacking. So let's see. Maybe we'll get an explanation that explains all of this and what is happening. I don't know. It's been a massive success militarily. And you've got to remember, again, all these fools, the money that made Iran dangerous was given to it, and the Iranian mullahs, the sickos, were allowed to have it by Barack Obama and Joe Biden. It's insane. Any problems we're having with Iran, any power Iran had, was provided by the United States. Their support of the Houthis, United States allowed them to have the resources. Hamas, the United States allowed them to have the resources. Hezbollah, the United States allowed them to have the resources. Obama and Biden. It is so insane. They actually made this war necessary with their idiocy, with their incompetence. I mean, after Obama failed, when he tried to give everything to the Iranians, you would think that the next Democrat administration would have learned. But no, Joe Biden didn't remember anything. The disgrace that he is. All right, we'll take a break. Bob Cordaro, WILK. We'll be back after these great sponsors. A little history, a little music, and then, sadly, even though it's been hit by paintballs or something, the Biden banner will do that after this. Well, that was Senator Joseph R. McCarthy responding to CBS Newsman Edward R. Murrow's broadside against him in See It Now. And what is interesting is McCarthy was basically correct. Now, focusing on communists, no, he should have been talking about the left, which has been entrenched in Washington, D.C. forever. And he sort of blew his own cause and throwing everybody into the pot of communism, Russian, Soviet communism anyway. And by the way, that we came out of that break with Billy Joel. His first top 40 hit with Piano Man, this date 1974, Murph tells us. Really good stuff. Bob Cordaro back with you on the program. But McCarthy was this date 1954. And then, of course, the famous Army McCarthy hearings and the end of Joe McCarthy's influence, and some would say reign of terror. Because a lot of people got hurt with the Red Scares. And unnecessarily, So he was correct, but he went about it in an entirely wrong way. And if you got the wrong leader, these kinds of things happen. You know what I mean? They really do. Hey, just a quick mention. An old friend, Alice D'Antona, being laid to rest today. I'm not going to be able to get to the services, but God bless her. Our friend Coach D'Antone, ailing a little bit himself, but I talked to him last night. He's doing okay. And but he'll be laying his wife to rest today. Sad stuff, and not an old woman at all. It's we never know what life has in store for us. And my brother Mike pointing out when I had mentioned earlier in the program, we talk about the ennui and the sort of listlessness that comes with not believing in God, not believing in an ultimate end, which is heaven. And Scotty Scheffler, the great golfer who I love, he said, well, I mean, it's golf. What do we care? Mike pointing that out to me. I actually forgot about that. Oh, what are we going to just go win more golf tournaments? Is that what this is all about? No, it isn't. And he nailed it. He really did. And that is life. And you got to think about that. And if you don't think about it at Easter time, when heaven was opened through the death and resurrection of Christ, well, there's no time to think about it, ever. And I said, I don't care how long you live. Eternity is a hell of a lot longer. You better keep that in mind. By the way, Cabinet Guy says that the Siddits is technically not a cheese. The eggs are made into a custard. It's pronounced differently depending where you are from, says Cabinet Guy. Yeah, that's never been part of our deal. The Siddiq is what we do have. That's our eggs for the day on Easter Sunday. Dutifully blessed, all that stuff. My man Johnny Anelli helped out in the kitchen, mother working. And 99-year-old Fran Marazzo came next door. She is a true wonder. She really is. It was amazing. Amazing stuff. Hey, let's take this break. Bob Cordaro, WILK. We will return with our Veterans Tribute after these messages. Our Veterans Tribute right now at 11:30 on my Picardo Jewelers watch. Brought to you by our man John Basiliga and all of his great companies. But on Mondays, we feature Eastern Roofing Systems. Why? Because that is his biggest company. It's his first company. The font from which all these other great ventures have come from. Eastern Roofing Systems is one of the largest, and they are the premier roofing contractor for institutional, commercial, and industrial purposes in the eastern United States. And guess what? They're headquartered in Jessup, so they bring all that expertise. They bring all that buying power to bear on your building and even your house here in Northeast Pennsylvania. Eastern Roofing Systems. Thomas Chesnick. He was 91 when we lost him March 23. He was from Vandling. He was the husband of Carol Tuzard Chesnick, with whom he shared 64 years of loving marriage. Born in Vandling, a graduate of Vandling High School, he honorably served all of us in the U.S. Army. He then attended the American Institute of Banking and the Mid-Atlantic PBA School of Trust. He retired as vice president of Community Bank and Trust after working for Community and its predecessors for 47 years. After retirement, he continued to serve on the board of the bank, as well as the boards of Maxis Health Systems. Involved with the Forest City Area Volunteer Ambulance Association, Greater Forest City Industries, Forest City Commercial Association, Carbondale Chamber of Commerce, Carbondale Industrial Development Corp., Northern Tier Regional Planning, Forest City, and the Rail Trail Council of Northeast Pennsylvania. What did he do? How did he have spare time? Well, when he did, he loved working in the wood shop in his basement, building furniture for the homes of his children and grandchildren. In addition to his wife, he survived by his son, his daughters, his grandchildren, his great-grandchildren, and other family members. A great legacy of service. Thomas Chesnick, our veteran this hour, brought to you by John Basiliga and Eastern Roofing Systems. AccuWeather forecast brought to us by our friends at Montage Mountain Resort, who are swinging into spring now that skiing has ended. And they're still making the Wagyu burger. Yeah, I promise you. Great bar, great hangout spot, that lodge. Today, breezy with times of clouds and sun. A couple of brief showers late this afternoon. It's only going to get up to 49. If you remember the reports, it was supposed to be in the high 50s today, but it ain't going to get there. Tonight, a rain or snow shower, it'll get down to 37. Tomorrow, windy and chilly, cloudy in the morning, then a blend of sun and clouds in the afternoon. High 43, low 23. Wednesday, plenty of sunshine, high of 54. It's going to get down to 32 on Wednesday. Thursday, intervals of cloud and sun, 59 degrees, low of 38. Friday, mostly cloudy, high 68, low of 47. And that is your weather, brought to you by our friends at Montage Mountain Resorts, who tell us that right now at Montage Mountain Resorts, it's 45 degrees. Yeah, that's Joe Biden, the disgrace. Biden banner disgrace. Stolen valor, day 112. The Greenridge Neighborhood Association, led by fools, put up a banner to Joe Biden as a hometown hero. The hometown hero banners are meant for veterans. Joe Biden was not. In fact, he dodged service on a dozen occasions. But they put it up anyway. And when they found out they were wrong, they kept it up. And so now a pink-stained, blotched Joe Biden hometown hero banner is hanging in the Greenridge Neighborhood Association and disgracing all of us as much as Paige Cognetti's streets are. We ask them, do the right thing, take it down. He doesn't deserve it. It isn't right. Biden banner disgrace. Day 112. So, they know they're wrong, but now, I don't advocate. In fact, I'm disappointed that someone defaced the Biden banner. It appears to be pink splotches. I may have to physically check it out myself today. Well, I don't know. I don't want to go over there because the streets are a disaster. Paige Cognetti's streets of Scranton, it's like Fallujah after a strafing. It's unreal. I thought, oh, my God, the hill section's got to be the worst. Greenridge is almost as bad. She should be ashamed of herself. Worst mayor in my lifetime. Unbelievable. Worst mayor in my lifetime, and she wants to be the congressperson. And she'll lie all she has to try to get there. It's unbelievable. I'm not getting it. I'm not getting it. And yet this is what we have to live with in the city of Scranton, we Scranton residents. And then we got to deal with a Biden banner idiocy by the Greenridge Neighborhood Association, who know they're wrong and won't take the damn thing now. Well, now you've got an excuse. If that's your little childish egos are in the way, you've now got your excuse. You could take it down and say, well, we're going to take it down and clean it. Just never put it up again. Leave it at that. We'll see what they do. They haven't done the right thing yet. Let's go to Mike from Duryea. On Artemis 2, in the midst of all of this, the United States they're going around the moon today, right, Mike?
But wait a second now. I've never seen all these space people on a desk. They're having an orgasm about this. I mean, if they don't find aliens on the other side of the moon, it's a big waste of money. We can only survive. We can only survive 6 months before your nose falls off from radiation poisoning.
Michael, I'll tell you what, though. Let me say this, and I thought the point was very important. I had Paul Richards on, former astronaut, and I asked him about it. You know what he said? And it hit me. I'm like, yeah. He said that from time immemorial, the nations that explored and that went forth in this kind of exploration, from Portugal to Spain, you name it, they are the countries that flourished, and that was not a coincidence.
Yeah, but there's nothing to be gained. I mean,
you don't know that.
Yeah, sure. If you have only, I think the maximum is 2 months. You can go 6 months, but then everything starts falling off your body. But I mean, 2 months, and then you got to be relieved. You got to go back to Earth because you have radiation poisoning. You can never build on the moon and have construction workers on there.
I don't know. I've heard that that's one of the possible plans. I don't know if if
I
that's
know,
the
but how could you do
actual
that, though?
end game.
Well, I know, but how could you do that? You can't. It's impossible. I mean, to sustain life with water, air, and the radiation poisoning that's going on, if they don't find aliens on the backside of the moon, it's a waste of money. I mean, it's nice to say, okay, we made it, we did it. You know what I mean? But I don't know.
We've got look at all I have to do is go to my closet when I go home and look at my Tang. And realize we got something really big out of the space program. So I'm all in.
And the calculator.
There's another thing. Yes, computerization.
I know, but the way they're talking about it is billions of dollars, and they say, "Oh, we're going to see a lunar eclipse. This is the best we're going to."
Listen, I would rather spend American treasure on going to the moon and on Space Force, which has already brought us benefits. I'd rather spend money on that and developing technology than on Somali fraud in Minnesota. That's me.
It's true. But I do believe that there's another agenda. I mean, if there is a huge asteroid, like maybe 5 miles wide, coming to Earth, and if we have a rocket ship that we can load up with nuclear weapons to blow up this asteroid that's coming to Earth that would kill everybody on that's a good possibility.
Well, there you go. You've already defined one of the possible benefits of all this, and we don't know what they all are. We've had incredible advancement because of the space program through the 60s. Incredible in all fronts.
No, I know, but to even go to Uranus, I think they said there was either 10 miles or 15 miles of solid ice on Uranus. And we want to get there with more radiation, drill to the bottom of this 10-mile-long ice sheet on Uranus and see if there's any life below the ice sheet. I mean, it's crazy the way they talk, though. But these people have an orgasm. It's just crazy.
Well,
I mean,
let's let them have their enthusiasm. Hey, we got to go. But let's let them have their enthusiasm, Michael. But thank you. Nothing wrong with a contrary view. It makes us think about things and discuss things. But I happen to think the space program very valuable, and it's the sign of a company or a country and a culture that is on the attack and is going to continue to grow. We'll take a break and be back. Still don't know why they did the Yuga Chaka thing, but certainly is a hook for the song, which is called, interestingly, Hooked on a Feeling. Blue Suede, Murph says, this date, 1974, they moved up to number 1 with that song. Fascinating. Bob Cordaro back, and I keep thinking, by the way, somebody texts in, Mayor Paige Cognetti ads all over the internet. Cuts to Medicare and Social Security. I'm on Medicare. I'm not receiving Social Security, but there's no cuts. It's a lie. And I'm happy you pointed this out. Veterans, yet no concrete evidence of the cuts to Social Security or the safety net. All lies. She's a liar. And she's going to lie about her positions because she's a left-wing lunatic. She's a squad member. She will be a squad member, I promise you. She wants to be a squad member. She's a total left-wing lunatic, and she's an incompetent mayor, a disgrace as a mayor. I've got to live in the city. Unfortunately, I know firsthand how awful she is. It's ridiculous and doesn't care. They literally came in. I'm going to film it. I put it on Facebook how horrible my block is and then how horrible my street is. Now they patch just my block, and it's worse. Unreal. Just to shut me up. I have no idea what. To stick it to me, shove it. I'm not even going to pretend it had anything to do with me. I don't know. But it's insanity. It's rank incompetence that you can't even make it up. You cannot make up how awful a mayor Cognetti is. You can't make it up. Posing for pictures at business openings with drug dealers. Absolute insanity, and it continues, and she wants more. Picardo Jewelers watch tells me 1150. Kid Rock. Murph tells us his date 2007. He was moving up the charts with his hit all summer long. And before that, the phony in chief, Barack Obama. I used to like him. I just watch him now. He's just such a complete hypocrite. And the final straw for me, and he was not a good president. He was the best parts of his presidency were mediocre. And so, and he divided the country brutally. And by the way, that was after they elected him and reelected him as a half African American. It's incredible. So yeah, we just don't really care for what he has to say. And oh yeah, you've got to vote for the black woman for president, but don't vote for the black woman for governor because she's Republican. Yeah. Well, we are going to finish with Christ the Lord is risen today, a glorious Easter hymn, because it is Easter. And we love it, and man, it never ends because it is everything to us. Mention our veterans real quick. Brought to you by our guy John Basiliga and Eastern Roofing Systems. Thomas Chesnick of Vandling. Robert Stucker, Sweet Valley. And Charles Castellino, Pittston. Thank you to Tina Morocco at Premier Sotheby's International in Naples, Florida. Find her there or Tina Morocco, MURACCO.com, your trusted Florida real estate advisor, specialized in Southwest Florida. And then our live stream with my great Camp Freedom t-shirt on, brought to you by our friends at Roach Supply. Roach Plumbing Supply, Honesdale, Chapman Supply in Clark Summit. 75 years in business. And veteran Ron Roach is still at the helm. It's amazing. And you don't operate for 75 years without being great, without being honest. Good stuff. Well, as we approach the top of the hour, my Picardo Jewelers watch tells me we've got to go. Sue Henry show next, Rob O'Donnell show after that. We're going to finish up with the rest of this beautiful Easter hymn. And God willing, I'll be with you tomorrow morning. But for now, I've got to say adios and gavel to a close. This meeting, today's meeting of the Club for Common Sense.